You are about to embark on something far deeper than a simple listen. It's not a journey to a distant land, but to the very core of your own being. What you'll discover here has the power to alter everything. The world you've known is about to become the world you create. Before we start, let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what you're currently manifesting or assuming into your reality. It's always inspiring to see people from all over the world consciously shaping their lives through the law of assumption. You can simply listen to this audiobook and let the words flow through you, or read along with the guided version for a deeper, more focused experience. Let's begin. Introduction: the hidden force that shapes your life. What if I told you that there is a single, governing principle that operates silently behind the scenes of your entire life? What if I were to suggest that your current circumstances, your achievements, your shortfalls, your relationships, and your financial standing are not merely the random products of chance and hard work, but are, in fact, the physical manifestations of a powerful, unseen force? And what if you could learn to command this force, to direct it with purpose and precision, to build a life that aligns not with your fears, but with your highest and most noble aspirations? This is not a speculative philosophy. It is not a vague promise of positive thinking. It is a law as real and as constant as the law of gravity. It operates in every human life, without exception. It is the law of assumption. You have been living by its dictates your entire life, though you may have been completely unaware of its presence and its power. Every condition of your life today is the outward evidence of what you have, until now, assumed to be true. Your assumptions, the deep-seated beliefs you hold in the quiet theater of your own mind, are the blueprints from which your reality is constructed. Think of your mind as a fertile garden. Whatever seeds you plant and nurture in that soil, whether they are seeds of lack or seeds of abundance, seeds of health or seeds of sickness, seeds of confidence or seeds of doubt, will inevitably grow and produce a harvest in your outer world. The law of assumption is the principle of that growth. It does not judge the seeds. It does not decide which are good and which are bad. It simply obeys. It brings into tangible reality whatever is sown and faithfully tended in the inner world of your thoughts and feelings. For too long, you may have felt like a passenger in your own life, buffeted by external winds, a victim of circumstances. You have looked outward for causes, blaming the economy, your upbringing, luck, or other people for the conditions you experience. But I am here to tell you that this is an illusion. The true cause lies within. The external world is a mirror, and it reflects back to you, with unerring accuracy, the dominant assumptions you hold about yourself and your place in the world. When you change the assumption, the reflection has no choice but to change as well. This knowledge is your awakening. It is the key that unlocks the door to a life of deliberate creation. You are not here by accident. You are listening to this now because a part of you, the deepest and most authentic part, is ready to remember its own power. You are ready to move from being a tenant in the house of your life to being its architect. This is your higher calling. This is the next step in your personal evolution. This is not about repeating empty affirmations to yourself in the mirror. This is about a fundamental shift in your state of consciousness. It is about assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled until that feeling hardens into fact. From this moment forward, you will no longer build your life upon the shifting sands of external evidence. You will build it upon the solid rock of conscious assumption. Let us proceed. Chapter 1. The Blueprint of Your Reality. Discovering the Law. You walk into a room, and you just know the conversation was about you. You have a gut feeling about a business decision, and it proves to be uncannily correct. You wake up feeling that it's going to be a bad day, and sure enough, everything goes wrong. What is this mysterious faculty? It is not luck. It is not coincidence. It is the law of assumption in its most rudimentary, unconscious form. You are constantly making assumptions, and your world is constantly arranging itself to conform to them. Today, we bring this process out of the shadows and into the light of your conscious awareness. From this moment on, I want you to consider a radical idea. Your inner world, the world of your thoughts, your beliefs, and your deepest feelings, is not a passive observer of the outer world. It is its active creator, Every single thing you see, touch, and experience in your physical reality began as a concept, an idea, an assumption in someone's mind. The chair you are sitting on, the device you are listening to, the roof over your head, all were first imagined before they were built. Your personal life is no different. The quality of your relationships, the balance in your bank account, the state of your vitality, these are all constructions. They are the finished buildings, and the assumptions you have held are the architectural blueprints from which they were erected. Now, you might be thinking, but I never assumed this would happen to me. And to that, I would ask you to look deeper, look past the conscious wishes and hopes, and examine the quiet, persistent, background narrative of your mind. What do you truly assume about your worth? What do you assume about your capability? What do you assume about your right to happiness and prosperity? These are not questions you answer with your words. They are answered by the consistent, emotional tone of your life. Your reality is a perfect printout of your subconscious assumptions. If you see lack, you have assumed lack. If you see conflict, you have assumed conflict. The law is utterly impartial and supremely efficient. But here is the most magnificent truth you will ever grasp. If your assumptions have built your current world, then new assumptions can build a new one. You are not stuck with the old blueprints. You can, starting right now, draw new ones. This is the great work of your life. This is the purpose for which you have been chosen to hear this message. You have been given the power to imagine a state better than the one you currently occupy, and to assume the reality of that state so completely that the world must reconfigure itself to match it. This is not magic. It is law. You are the architect. Let us pick up the drafting pencil. Chapter 2. The Mirror and the Master. How your outer world reflects your inner assumptions. Look around you. The world you see is a mirror. It is showing you, with perfect clarity, the person you believe yourself to be. Every circumstance, every encounter, every result is a reflection of an internal state. If you do not like the reflection, it is futile to try to polish the mirror. You must change the face that is being reflected. You must change the assumption. In this chapter, we will learn to stop cursing the reflection and start mastering the source. I want you to think of a recent challenge or a recurring problem in your life. Now, I want you to perform an act of profound honesty. Instead of looking for an external cause, I want you to ask yourself this single, powerful question. What must I be assuming, deep down, for this to be my experience? If you are experiencing financial difficulty, what is your deep, often unspoken assumption about money? Is it that it is hard to come by? That you are not good with it? That wealthy people are dishonest? Your assumption will be there. If you have the courage to look, if you are experiencing loneliness, what is your core assumption about your own lovability? Your own worthiness of companionship? The outer world has no choice but to show you what you truly believe about yourself. This can be a difficult pill to swallow, because it places the power and the responsibility squarely in your hands. It is far easier to blame a boss, a partner, the government, or bad luck. But that path is the path of perpetual powerlessness. The moment you accept that your assumptions are the master and your world is the mirror, you claim your authority. You become the master of the reflection. You see, you have been the master all along. You simply were not aware of it. And so you created by default. Now, you will create by design. Let me speak to you directly now. You, who are listening to my voice, have within you the capacity to assume a new state. Imagine the person you wish to be. See that person vividly in your mind. How does that person feel? What is their emotional tone? Confident, serene, abundant, loved? That feeling is the key. Your work is to, right now, in your imagination, feel the way that person would feel. Assume that state as your own. Do it now. As you listen, feel the reality of it. The world in the mirror does not change instantly. Of course, it has momentum. But the moment you change the assumption, the reflection is destined to change. The master has given a new command. The mirror must obey. Chapter 3. The end before the beginning. Assuming the wish fulfilled. All achievement, all manifestation, begins with a single, critical moment. It is the moment you decide that what you desire is already yours. It is the moment you stop hoping for it, and you start knowing it. This is the secret that every great achiever in history has understood, either consciously or unconsciously. They live in the end. They feel the reality of their goal before the evidence appears. This is the golden key to operating the law of assumption. You must learn to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The human mind is a wonderful instrument, but it is often trained to live in a state of longing. We are taught to set goals and then strive for them, to work hard in the hope of one day achieving them. This very process, this striving, reinforces the feeling of not having. It keeps the goal always at a distance. The law of assumption works in the opposite direction. It does not strive, it occupies. It does not hope for the future. It enjoys the present reality of its desire. Think of a beloved memory. When you recall it, you can feel the feelings associated with it. Can you not? It is real to you. This is the same faculty you must use for your future. You must call up a memory of the future. Let us try this together. Close your eyes for a moment, in your mind, as you listen. What is it that you truly want? Not what you think you can get, but what you truly desire. Now, imagine that it is already accomplished fact. The struggle is over. The desire is realized. How do you feel? What is the emotional quality of this fulfillment? Is it peace? Is it joy? Is it deep, quiet confidence? This feeling is the substance of your assumption. This is the state you must learn to live in. Your senses will tell you that it is not real. The outer world will show you no evidence. Your job is to be faithful to your assumption, to your feeling. This is what it means to walk in the assumption. You are not lying to yourself. You are telling yourself a higher truth. You are aligning your inner world with the reality you wish to express. You are building the foundation before you see the house. The world you want is not out there somewhere, waiting for you to find it. It is in here, waiting for you to assume it. From that assumption, all the necessary steps, the ideas, the opportunities, and the actions will naturally and effortlessly unfold. The end is always the beginning. So, decide on your end, feel its reality, and watch as your beginning transforms. Chapter 4. The Art of Mental Rehearsal, Living from Your Future Self. There is a practice used by world-class athletes, renowned performers, and visionary entrepreneurs that is more powerful than any physical drill. It is not practice in the ordinary sense. It is a quiet, profound, and deeply effective form of creation. It is the art of mental rehearsal. It is the process of living in your imagination, from the state of your already realized desire. You are not practicing for life. You are practicing life itself. From the finished perspective of your success, think of the finest concert pianist you can imagine. Before she ever walks onto the stage, she has already performed the piece flawlessly 100 times in her mind. She hears every note. She feels the weight of the keys under her fingers. She senses the emotion of the music and the rapt attention of the audience. She is not hoping to play well. She is remembering a perfect performance from her future. This is not mere preparation. This is assumption in action. She is impressing upon her subconscious mind the reality of success, and her subconscious, which directs her body and her instincts, has no choice but to actualize what has been so vividly assumed. Now, I want you to apply this to your own life. Your desires are your concerto. Your world is your stage. You must rehearse your success until it feels more real to you than your current circumstances. This is not daydreaming. Daydreaming is looking at a desired state from the outside. Mental rehearsal is experiencing it from the inside. It is the difference between looking at a photograph of a luxurious vacation and actually feeling the sun on your skin, tasting the salt in the air, and feeling the profound peace of being there. One is a picture. The other is a reality. Your subconscious mind responds to reality, to feeling, not to pictures. So, I want you to close your eyes for a few moments each day. Go into that quiet space within yourself. that sacred workshop of the mind. And there, I want you to construct a scene which would imply the absolute fulfillment of your desire. If it is a promotion, do not see yourself receiving the news. Instead, feel yourself in the new office, sitting in the new chair, feeling the weight of the new responsibility and the deep satisfaction of achievement. If it is a loving relationship, do not picture the wedding. Instead, feel the comfort and ease and joy of a quiet Sunday morning with that person, the feeling of being completely at home. Live in that feeling. Let it feel ordinary, natural, real. This, my friend, is you building your new reality from the inside out. You are giving your subconscious mind a new blueprint to follow. You are not begging the universe for a change. You are announcing the change has already occurred. You are the actor, stepping into the role of your future self and performing it with such conviction that the entire world, which is your supporting cast, has no choice but to play its part. Rehearse this role until the lines are second nature, until the costume feels like your own skin. Then, walk out onto the stage of your life and watch as the script you have written in your mind unfolds before your very eyes. Chapter 5. The Power of I Am. The two most important words you will ever assume. In all of human language, there are no two words more creative, more powerful, or more definitive than these: I am. These words are the foundation upon which every assumption is built. They are the sovereign declaration of your being. Whatever you attach to these two words, you become. They do not describe you as you are. They command you into what you shall be. I am is the name of the architect, and it is also the decree that brings the design into existence. Listen to the way people use these words in everyday conversation. I am tired. I am broke. I am unlucky. I am not good enough. With each utterance, they are not describing a temporary condition. They are forging an eternal truth for their experience. They are laying a brick in the wall of their own prison. They are assuming a state, and the law, in its infinite and impartial justice, obliges by manifesting more fatigue, more lack, more misfortune, more insecurity. The I am is always followed by its proof. You have been using this power your entire life, but you have been using it unconsciously, like a child playing with a king's scepter, unaware of the authority it holds. Today, that changes. From this moment forward, you must become the vigilant guardian of your I am. You must understand that these words are sacred. They are your point of power. They are the command you issue to the very substance of the universe. You would not declare, I am bankrupt, if you desired wealth. You would not declare, I am sick, if you desired health. You must now consciously choose the states you assume with your I am. I am abundant. I am well. I am guided. I am loved. I am capable. I am the architect of my destiny. Now, I can hear a question forming in your mind. But if I say, I am wealthy, when my bank account says otherwise, am I not lying to myself? This is the critical crossroad where most people turn back. You are not lying. You are speaking from the finished state of your desire. You are not stating a fact about your current circumstances. You are declaring a truth about your being. You are asserting who you are in the reality you are constructing. You are not looking at the empty lot and saying, this is a building. You are, as the architect, standing on the blueprints and declaring, I am the builder of this skyscraper. The declaration precedes the manifestation. It must. So, I want you to try this now. Speak it aloud. With conviction. Say, I am that which I desire to be. Feel the power in that statement. It is not, I will be. It is, I am. You are claiming it now, in your imagination, which is the only reality that truly matters. You are planting your flag on the future and calling it the present. Guard your I am statements with your life. Let them be noble. Let them be strong. Let them be full of life and light and possibility. For you are not describing yourself. You are creating yourself. And with those two words, I am, you have all the power you will ever need. Chapter 6. letting go of the how, trusting the law to fulfill the plan. You have planted the seed of your assumption in the fertile soil of your mind. You have felt the reality of the wish fulfilled. Now, one of the greatest tests of a true architect begins. It is the test of letting go. You must relinquish your need to control the how, the when, and the path through which your assumption will manifest in your world. Your job is to define the end. The universe, operating through the infallible law of assumption, will orchestrate the means. Think of a master architect who designs a magnificent cathedral. He draws the blueprints with precision and vision. He knows the final form, the feeling of the space, the purpose of the building, but he does not then rush to the quarry to cut the stone himself. He does not personally mix the mortar or climb the scaffolding. He trusts the engineers, the stonemasons, the carpenters. He knows that if his blueprint is clear and correct, the team will bring it into reality through their own specialized skills. You are in the very same position. You have drawn the mental blueprint. Now you must trust the infinite intelligence of the universe to be your construction crew. Your conscious mind is a brilliant creator, but it is a terrible manager of the infinite details of manifestation. It will try to figure it all out. It will look at the current circumstances and say, "This is impossible. I do not see a way." This is where faith is required. Not a blind faith, but a knowing faith. A faith based on your understanding of the law. You must assume the state of the wish fulfilled, and then you must let that assumption go, knowing it is now a law in motion. To constantly dig up the seed to see if it is growing is to ensure it will never bear fruit. So I say to you now, release the burden. You have carried the weight of how for too long. It has caused you anxiety and doubt. It has made you look for confirmation in the outer world, and when you did not see it, you assumed your blueprint was faulty. It was not. Your faith was simply interrupted. Your work is to return, over and over, to the feeling of the end. Dwell in that feeling. Enjoy it. Then, go about your daily life in peace. Take the inspired actions that occur to you, but release the frantic effort of forcing a path. The path will reveal itself. Opportunities will appear. People will be drawn to you. The how is not your concern. Your only concern is the I am. Assume your state, and the plan will unfold with a grace and efficiency that will astound you. Chapter 7. The Greenhouse of the Mind. Tending your assumptions daily. Your mind is not a static thing. It is a living, breathing ecosystem. A greenhouse where ideas, beliefs, and assumptions are constantly growing. You are the gardener. And just as a gardener does not plant a seed once and then abandon it to the weeds, you cannot assume a state once and then forget it. You must tend to it daily. You must protect it from the frost of doubt and water it with the warm rain of your imagination. Every single day, from the moment you wake, you are either strengthening your desired assumption or you are feeding a competing one. The world will present you with evidence that contradicts your new reality. It is its nature. The old state does not vanish without a fight. It has inertia. Your job is to be the vigilant gardener who, upon seeing a weed, does not despair that the garden is ruined. He simply and calmly plucks the weed out. A negative thought, a moment of fear, a flicker of the old feeling, these are the weeds. You do not fight them. You do not give them your energy. You acknowledge them, and you gently, firmly, return your focus to the cultivated plant, to the beautiful flower of your assumption. This tending is a gentle, persistent process. It is not a struggle. It is a practice. It begins the moment you open your eyes. Before the concerns of the day rush in, go to your mental greenhouse. Step into the state of your wish fulfilled. Feel it for just 5 minutes. Let that feeling set the tone for your entire day. Throughout the day, when you have a spare moment waiting in line or between tasks, return to that feeling. This is not about repeating words like a robot. It is about touching the reality of your assumption. It is about brushing against it with your inner senses until it becomes the most familiar and normal state in your world. You are cultivating a new reality, and cultivation requires consistent, loving attention. Do not be discouraged if the old weeds appear. Their very appearance is a sign that you are gardening, that you are disturbing the old soil. Your persistence is the sunlight. Your faith is the water. Your focused imagination is the rich soil. Day by day, you are not just planting a seed, you are creating an entirely new inner landscape. And as you do, you will find that the outer world has no choice but to become a perfect reflection of the well-tended garden within you. Chapter 8. Beyond positive thinking. The difference between thinking and feeling. The world is full of well-meaning people who will tell you to think positive. This is good advice, as far as it goes. But it does not go far enough. Positive thinking is a surface-level activity. It operates on the level of the conscious mind. The law of assumption, however, operates on a much deeper level. It operates on the level of feeling and subconscious belief. Thinking about being wealthy is not the same as feeling the natural, calm assurance of being a wealthy person. One is a thought. The other is a state of being. You can repeat the words, "I am successful," 1,000 times a day, but if, in the quiet depths of your heart, you feel like an imposter, if you feel anxious and striving, which assumption do you think the law will obey? It will obey the feeling every single time. Your subconscious mind, the engine of manifestation, is moved not by words, but by the sensory vividness and emotional tone of your assumptions. It is the difference between reading a menu and actually eating the meal. The menu can describe the food, but only the eating can satisfy the hunger. Your feeling is the eating. This is why your work is an inner work. It is not about policing every single thought that flits through your mind. That is an exhausting and ultimately futile battle. Your work is to sink into the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to relax into it, to let it soak into your very bones. When you assume a state, you are not just thinking it. You are providing the proof of it to your deeper mind through your senses. You are making it real on the inner plane. What does it feel like to have your desire? What is the texture of that reality? What is the emotional quality? Is it light? Is it solid? Is it peaceful? Is it exhilarating? Find that feeling and reside there. So, I want you to go beyond positive thinking. I want you to graduate to actual being. Do not just think about your goal. Be the person for whom that goal is a natural expression of who they are. Let your thoughts be a natural outcropping of your feeling state, not the other way around. When you feel the state of wealth, thoughts of opportunity and gratitude will naturally arise. When you feel the state of health, thoughts of vitality and energy will flow effortlessly. Your feelings are the cause, your thoughts are the effect. Tend to the cause, and the effects in your inner and outer world will take care of themselves. Chapter 9. The Architect in Action. Bringing your new assumptions into the world. A blueprint locked in a vault builds nothing. A seed left in the packet feeds no one. The purpose of your inner assumption is to express itself in your outer world. It is meant to come to life. This is where the architect becomes the builder. This is where your inner conviction meets outer action. But this action is not the frantic striving of old. It is a new kind of action. It is inspired, natural, and almost effortless. It is the action that comes from being the person you have assumed yourself to be. When you have truly assumed a new state, you will find yourself moving through the world in a different way. You will have a new confidence, a new posture, a new tone in your voice. Opportunities that you would have never noticed before will suddenly become visible to you. Conversations will unfold in your favor. Ideas will pop into your mind at just the right time. These are not coincidences. This is the law of assumption arranging the physical world to match your inner reality. Your job is to recognize these impulses and to follow them. This is inspired action. It feels right. It feels natural. It is the next logical step for the person you have become. Do not make the mistake of waiting for the entire path to be illuminated before you take the first step. The path is revealed, step by step, as you walk it. Your assumption is the light that illuminates just enough of the road ahead for you to take that next step. You must take it. If you have assumed the state of a successful business owner, the inspired action might be to make that phone call you have been putting off. It might be to enroll in that course. It will feel like a natural expression of who you are, not a desperate gamble. If you have assumed the state of being in a loving relationship, the inspired action might be to accept a social invitation you would normally decline, but you will go with a new, open demeanor. You will act from your assumption. You are a channel for the expression of your own assumed consciousness. The world is your building site. Every inspired action is like laying a brick. It may seem small by itself, but each one is placed with the certainty of the final structure in mind. Trust the impulses that arise from your felt state of fulfillment. Move with them. Do not second-guess them. This is you, cooperating with the law. This is the architect seeing the materials arrive and directing their placement. You are no longer hoping. You are building. And the world is your willing supplier. Chapter 10. The Unwavering Line. Maintaining your assumption against all evidence. This is the final and most important lesson for the master architect. It is the lesson of persistence. It is the lesson of the unwavering line. When you have drawn your blueprint, when you have assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you must hold to that line against all contradictory evidence. You must remain faithful to your unseen reality. The world will test your assumption. It will present you with circumstances that scream that your blueprint is a fantasy. This is the critical moment. This is where you are made. Every great creation in history faced a moment where it seemed impossible. Every inventor was told it could not be done. Every artist faced a blank canvas with doubt. What separated them was not a lack of challenges, but an unwavering assumption of their eventual success. They held the line. They returned to the feeling of the finished work. They knew that the evidence of the senses was temporary, but the reality of their assumption was eternal. You must cultivate this same unwavering faith. When the bank statement does not yet reflect your assumption of abundance, that is not a signal to abandon your blueprint. It is a signal to return to the feeling of wealth. When a relationship seems to falter, that is not a signal to assume rejection. It is a signal to return to the feeling of being loved and secure. Your persistence is the power that forges your assumption into fact. It is the relentless repetition of a new truth to your subconscious mind until the old reality has no choice but to surrender and dissolve. You have now been given the entire knowledge. You understand the law. You know how to assume a state. You know how to tend it, and how to act from it. Now, you must live it. You must become so committed to your inner reality that the outer world becomes a mere echo, a lagging indicator. Do not pray for things to change. Assume they already have, and watch the change occur. Do not beg for a different life. Live from the feeling of the life you want, and you will find yourself living it. You are the architect. The power was within you all along. This knowledge is your awakening. Go now, and build. The world is waiting for the masterpiece that is you.